moving on to my experience with the SleepHub. Does it actually work? Generally speaking, I'm a good sleeper anyway. I don't need an alarm. I just typically wake up 7 or 8 hours after I fall asleep. But I do sometimes find it hard to fall back asleep. If, say, I've got up to pee or the dog wants to go out, my mind often wakes up, starts talking and just won't shut up. So I think the main benefit to me of the SleepHub was something to help numb out those thoughts, give me something else to concentrate on and calm me down, to silence them. And in that respect, it completely worked. However, to try and be a bit more empirical about these things, because that's meaningless, I used a third-party sleep tracking app called Pillow, and that got data from my Apple Watch, which is pretty good for sleep tracking given the wealth of sensors that it contains. As a baseline point of comparison, I pulled some sleep stats from a few months ago. I didn't use the data immediately prior to using the SleepHub because it had been particularly bad. The dog was waking me up 4 or 5 times a night. It wouldn't have been a fair comparison. So just to be clear from the outset, I have tried to pick and choose dates where I thought things were normal. You know, I wasn't heavily drinking or staying up particularly late playing a game. I've tried to grab the normal days. So over the course of 3 days back in September, I had an average of 6 hours and 45 minutes of sleep, and that was with an average 73% sleep score. I don't know precisely what that sleep score is, but suffice to say it'll be the same for all my data, so you can compare that. And I think that's pretty good, actually. I also then took data during, let's call it a training stage with the SleepHub. Obviously, the first week of using something like this, you may find it actually wakes you up more than often, purely because it's a novel device. And as humans, we are creatures of habit, so you should expect a period of adjustment where you get used to sleeping with it. Sure enough, I got an average of 6 hours, 15 minutes and a reduced quality of 68%, so not great. So I'm just putting that out there to say that there will be a period of adjustment, no more than a week or a couple of days, and I'm not going to hide that fact from you. But finally we get to the good part, where I took more data after I'd got used to sleeping with the SleepHub. And here's what I found. Again, this is from a third-party app called Pillow. Takes data from the Apple Watch. It has nothing to do with SleepHub, so any of the data and the percentages that are calculated use that app's algorithm, and they shouldn't be biased or connected to this at all. So this was at various dates before Christmas. I took the data over 6 different nights and again averaged that out and discarded any dates where I'd been, it was Christmas, come on, don't judge. So that data showed an improved 7 hours average sleep time and 81% average score. Now, just as a quick test, I then turned the SleepHub off and didn't use it again for a couple more sort of normal days to see how we got. And sure enough, my average went down to 6.5 hours sleep, albeit at about 80% quality. Now, of course, this isn't a controlled study. My data isn't peer reviewed. This is just me taking some days from where I happen to be wearing my Apple Watch. It's a small sample size, so I completely understand if you want to discredit and say that was nonsense. But for me, it showed a clear improvement that I've seen using the SleepHub, which honestly, I was not expecting. So completely anecdotally, on days when I'm using this, I do actually feel like I'm sleeping better, longer. And even if I do still wake up at night, this helps me get back to sleep quickly and to not interrupt the stages and those phases of sleep. I've added more to my dream journal over the past month than in the past 6, which means I'm hitting those REM phases more and I'm waking up feeling more refreshed and remembering more dreams. So getting back to a decent night's sleep is great. Ultimately, what makes the SleepHub stand out is the sheer ease of use. Tap, slide, play. The simplicity of the features. You're not going to get a mail or Slack notification or any other distractions. There's no fussing around before bed with an app or making sure that the battery is charged. The hardware is premium quality, it's great sounding, and it's just a fantastic all-in-one unit for better sleep, which did genuinely help me and does seem to work. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something during this video or found it helpful in deciding if the SleepHub is the solution you're looking for to help you sleep better.